Hello learners, Namaskar. In another video, Mastery in Assamese Grammar, particularly in aligning personal pronouns with verbs confidently, we discussed the subject-verb agreement in Assamese, determined by person where the conjugation of verbs takes place. If you can remember, I tell you in that video, the subject-verb agreement in Assamese is primarily determined by two grammatical factors, namely person and transitivity. In that video, we discuss the subject-verb agreement in Assamese determined by person. Here, we discuss the subject-verb agreement in Assamese determined by transitivity. We also learned a few basic vocabulary items related to contemporary food habits and basic verbs related to food. Moreover, in that video, I tell you that transitivity plays a crucial role, particularly in how the subject is marked while agreeing with the verb they co-occur. Transitive verbs often require a specific subject marker, usually A, which may also be linked to agentivity. For example, Rame bhat khai, which means Ram eats rice. Here, kha is a transitive verb, that is, it takes an object. Here it is bhat, means cooked rice. Therefore, the subject or the agent or doer of the action, that is Ram, is marked with A, which is known as agentive case or ergative case. Now let's have another sentence, Ram ahe, which means Ram comes. Here, ah is an intransitive verb, that is, it doesn't take any object and hence the agentive or ergative case suffix a doesn't co-occur with the subject or agent Ram. Thus, subjects of transitive verbs often take the ergative case marker a, which is typically dropped for intransitive verbs. Why I am using the word often here? I will tell you while discussing the concept of split ergativity afterwards in this class. So this class is all about the use and non-use of the agentive or ergative case marker A in Assamese. The key concepts that we have to crack the subject-verb agreement in Assamese determined by transitivity are to understand the verb types, that is, intransitive and transitive, and recognize them. To recognize the agent and the patient of a verb in a clause or sentence. Agent is the doer of the action of the verb, whereas patient is the object on which the action of the verb is applied. And then to recognize the different categories of agents based on person classification, that is first person, second person and third person. Let us first understand the verb types, that is intransitive verbs and transitive verbs, and recognize them. Let's have a few simple sentences where we can observe both intransitive and transitive verbs. Bina ghoroloi ahil, that means Bina has come home. Binai mirak matisil, it means Bina called Mira. Bina ahil, which means Bina has come. Binai bhat khale means Bina has eaten rice. Mira khule, that means Mira has slept. The verbs used in these sentences are ah means come, mat means call or invite, kha means eat, and hu means sleep. Let's test these verbs whether they are intransitive or transitive. Before trying to identify them, let us know what intransitive and transitive verbs are. A transitive verb requires a direct object to receive the action of the verb and to complete its meaning. For example, kha in the sentence Orune ruti khabo, which means Arun will eat roti. Here, the action of the verb kha means eat is in transit from the subject or doer of the action to the object roti. On the other hand, an intransitive verb does not take an object and it stands alone. For example, hu means sleep, as in Mira hule. That means Mira has slept. There is no object in this sentence. Some verbs can function as both depending on the context. We will discuss it afterwards. Let us now test the verbs ah, mat, kha and hu to know whether they are intransitive or transitive using a very helpful test. One of the key identifiers of intransitive or transitive is to answer ka, that means whom, or ki means what, after the verb. Let us do it. A couple of questions I am going to frame here are awkward, but they are necessary to complete our test to identify and differentiate intransitive and transitive verbs. Bina ahil, that means Bina has come. Bina has come whom, or Bina has come what? In Assamese, we ask Bina kak ahil or Bina ki ahil. These are really awkward questions. There is no possible answer to them. Nevertheless, it implies that the verb are and its equivalent in English come are intransitive. Let us now test the other verb mat in the sentence Binay mirak matisil. It means Bina called Mira. The question here will be Binay kak matisil or Binay ki matisil. They mean Bina called whom and Bina called what. Now, these are valid questions. We can answer them with mirak, whom Bina called as per the information in the sentence. Binay mirak matisil. Mira is the object here, so it takes the object marker ko, called accusative case. So it implies that mat is a transitive verb. Again, we can test the verbs kha means eat and hu means sleep, occurring in the sentences Binay bhat khale means Bina has eaten rice and Mira hule, that means Mira has slept. We can again ask Binay kak khale or Binay ki khale and Mira kak hule or Mira ki hule. In English, we can ask Bina has eaten whom or Bina has eaten what, and Mira has slept whom or Mira has slept what. Then we can answer the first one with bhat, but not the second one. It implies kha is a transitive verb and hu is an intransitive verb. So I hope you are able to identify transitive and intransitive verbs by now. Secondly, we try to recognize the agent, that is the doer of the action of the verb, and patient of a verb in a clause or sentence. Agent is the doer of the action of the verb, whereas patient is the object on which the action of the verb is applied. Here again, we can take two different questions. Firstly, whom or what is performing the action, to find out the agent or subject or doer of the action of the verb in a sentence. Secondly, who or what is being affected or changed, to find out the patient or object of the action of the verb in a clause or sentence. For example, we can take the sentence Binay mirak matisil. It means Bina called Mira. Here, Bina is the agent or doer of the action of the verb mat, means call or invite. The third or final key concept that is important to crack the subject-verb agreement in Assamese determined by transitivity is to recognize the different categories of agents based on person classification. That is, first person, second person, and third person. We can see the categorization of nouns and pronouns into first, second, and third persons. Please see the chart on the screen how we categorize them. If you can see the chart, you observe that there are two broad categories of the Assamese words presented here. One in dark red and the other in dark blue. Please note that we are focusing on the marking of subject nominals in this class, which is known as ergativity marking. We already discussed conjugation of verbs in another class on the same topic. So, coming back to the distribution of nominals into dark red and dark blue in the chart, we need to introduce another term called split ergativity, which is an inconsistent ergative or agentive marking system. In the case of Assamese, it is inconsistent based on noun types. In this language, most of the pronouns behave differently than nouns, particularly the personal pronouns, that is, first personal pronouns, second personal singular pronouns, and third personal singular pronouns, which are shown in dark red color in the chart. They do not take the ergative or agentive marker A. So we can forget about these pronouns for a while in this class. Other terms like ergative absolutive and nominative accusative are also important while discussing case assignment and case alignment in Assamese. However, discussing these concepts might make language learning confusing, so we leave it here for the time being. The other category put in dark blue color take the ergative or agentive marker A. But when? Now, relax and let's proceed to the next section of the class. We are going to come to the point now. We will be able to answer the question when, after going through the upcoming section of this class. Just remember what we have discussed so far. Mainly, the three key concepts that are very important to crack the subject-verb agreement in Assamese determined by transitivity. Now, we know how to differentiate intransitive and transitive verbs, how to recognize agent and patient, and the different categories of agents based on person classification. So without delaying, let's have a few widely used sentences. These sentences use first personal pronoun agents, second personal pronoun singular agents, and third personal pronoun singular agents, all of which do not take the ergative case marker A, as in moi gakhir khao. That means I drink milk. Ami cinema sao, which means we watch movie. Toi pani an means you bring water. Tumi porotha lua, that means you take porotha. Apuni coffee khao, that means you have coffee. He sa khai, that means he drinks tea. Tai gan khune means she listens to songs. Teo mangkho khai, which means she or he eats meat. The agents in these sentences are not marked with the ergative case A, even if they are co-occurring with transitive verbs. Let us take another set of sentences using the dark blue nominals in the chart as the agents. Tohot khailoi ahibi. That means you all will come tomorrow. Here, a is an intransitive verb. So the subject tohot does not take the agent marker A. But in the other sentence, tohote porohiloi koni khabi, which means you all will eat eggs the day after tomorrow. Kha is a transitive verb and hence it assigns the ergative or agentive case marker A to the subject tohot. Next, we can take the sentences he hot gol. That means they went or they left, and he hote dui khale, which means they have had curd. In the first one, the verb goal, which is the perfective form of ja means go, is intransitive, which doesn't assign any agentive marker to the subject. In the second sentence, the verb kha is transitive and hence it assigns the agentive marker to the subject hihot, making it hihote. The same way in apunaluk bohok, which means you sit down, and apunaluke muri khaine, which means do you eat puffed rice? The verb bo means sit is an intransitive verb, and so it doesn't assign the agentive marker to the subject apunaluk, but kha is transitive, so the subject apunaluke takes the agentive marker a. Again, in teuluk aji nahe, that means they are not coming today. A means come is not a transitive verb, and hence it doesn't assign the ergative marker to the subject. But in teuluke mas nakhai, that means they do not eat fish. Kha is transitive, so the subject teuluk takes the agentive marker a. Thus, we can find Assamese sentences like kun ahise, which means who has come. Kune tumak matise, that means who has invited you or who has called you. Kun ahise, which means who have come. Kune tamul khabo, that means who will eat betel nuts. Kunuba ase neki, means is somebody else there? Kunubai mok dekhisil, which means someone saw me. Kunuba dourise, that means some people have run. Kunubai ghiu nakhai, which means some people do not eat ghee. Here we can see the full reduplication of the interrogative pronoun kun means who, and the indefinite pronoun kunuba means someone. Reduplication forms their plural forms kun and kunuba. Please note that in the reduplicated agent, both the words are marked with the agentive or ergative case marker like kune from kun and kunubai from kunuba. Coming to the nouns, adjectives and numerals or numbers, we can have more examples such as hati ulaise, that means the elephant has come out, versus hatiye nimok khai, means elephants eat salt. Horu ahise, that means the little one has come, versus horue bhaji nakhai, which means the younger one doesn't eat fry. Ejon ohanai means one has not come, versus ezone anja nakhai, that means one doesn't eat curry. With these examples, let us conclude the class here, but after learning one more very important thing related to the ergative or agentive case marker in Assamese, that is the variant forms or allomorphs of the ergative case marker. They are a, ie, ue, and e, which are phonologically conditioned. That means in different phonological environments, the agentive case marker becomes different. A co-occurs with nominals ending at consonant sounds. E co-occurs with nominals ending at front vowels, that is a, e, a sounds. The easy way to remember this rule is that our lips are straight while pronouncing these vowels. On the other hand, we co-occurs with nominals ending at back vowels, that is o, u, and u, which are pronounced with our lips rounded, whereas e co-occurs with non-monosyllabic nominals ending at a and a sounds. For example, omole jolpan khai, that means omol eats snacks. Here, the word omol ends at a consonant sound, so it takes the a form. Paporiye papor khai, which means papori is papadam or papad. Here the word papori ends at a front unrounded vowel sound, so it takes the ie form. Monue pitha khai bhal pai means Monu likes eating rice cakes. Here the word Monu ends at a back rounded vowel sound, so it takes the way form. Longke laru khaise, that means Longke is eating laddu. Here the word Longke is non-monosyllabic and it ends at a sound, so it takes the e form. So that's all for today. Please keep practicing the words and sentences we have come across in this class so far. See you soon. Dhanyabad.